Hello, welcome to Leading the Way at Leonards, and I'm your host, Dwayne Knepper. Today, we'll be talking about environmental sustainability and the importance of reducing pollution from heavy-duty vehicles. And as always, riding shotgun with me is Leonards Express CEO, Ken Johnson.
Thanks, Dwayne. Good to be here as always. Being environmentally responsible is one of the key values that Leonard's holds. We want to be a good corporate citizen. We want the image of our company and our industry to be positive, and a lot of that has to do with how we run our company from an environmentally friendly perspective. The industry is under a lot of pressure to reduce emissions, and that really goes back to 1994 and has continued, for decades. And we've got some more changes coming. We'll talk about here in a little bit. But right now, I want to introduce Kevin Adriaansen, who's joining us, and he's going to address some of these issues. Kevin is our VP of Operations.
Good morning, Ken. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Kevin, you can't have a conversation about sustainability in our industry without talking about electrification, as Ken had mentioned. How is Leonards Express using electric trucks to lower greenhouse gas emissions and promote cleaner air?
Well, Dwayne, we're not there yet. I've been around this business a long time. I started in the 70s with trucks that blew black smoke and, get four miles a gallon. We've been able to change our fleet with lots of new technology that has got us up to, our fleet up to close to 8 miles a gallon. On the electric side, we're surely testing it. We have some opportunities, of course, at the Delaware operation with yard trucks in our warehouses here in Shortsville. But as far as over the road, the technology is not there yet. We can't get the mileage out of it. But we're testing, seeing where we're going to go with it. We're going to have to, there's surely going to be some mandates that's going to make us use some electric vehicles. We're going to be there's some 2024 EPA mandates coming out, and then it's going to change again in 2027. It's putting a lot of pressure on the OEMs to build vehicles that are low emission vehicles. So it's going to be a bit before we're there. There's surely other issues around where are we going to get the power to charge these. There's issues with battery size and weight. You name it. It's going to take some time, but it's coming, and we'll get there eventually.
Yeah, I just saw an article today that there were going to be two competing plants that are going to establish themselves here in the U.S. I guess they were Japanese about building batteries. These are, again, for some of the electrical cars. I don't know if you guys heard that as well, but.
Yeah, I think right now the batteries are the biggest challenge, both in size and weight, and capacity. It's quite frankly, from a security standpoint, a lot of the battery and materials used to make batteries is imported. So there needs to be some work done in domestically to secure the future there. So. And that leads into our next conversation on some of the legislative trends that are going on. We operate as a company in all 48 states, which makes it difficult with individual states put out mandates. California, has been leading the way with their California Air Resource Board. They've got programs in place that dictate an increasing percentage of vehicles sold in the state, and they're coming out with rules that will increase the number of vehicles purchased for both individuals, for their personal use, and companies with their commercial use. So the number of electric, and we say electric, it's really zero emissions, because there may be technology that comes that's takes us down a different path from electric. And quite frankly, I think for our industry, that's probably where we're going to be heading. Hydrogen comes to mind. There's a lot of research being done with hydrogen fuel cells, which may make the long haul, medium haul over the road. The fleets that don't return home every night, may be a better solution. But New York follows a lot of the individual requirements as well as the commercial requirements that California puts out, as do several other Northeast states. But there's a lot of country in between, the East Coast and the West Coast, and a lot of those states have different priorities, different way of looking at some of these things. So it kind of makes it challenging for us. But one of the things that has come out recently in March of this year, the EPA put out a proposal that will put out stronger standards on the diesel engines that we run in our trucks. The first one is 2027, but the overall goal, would be to reduce the amount of smog, soot, nitrous oxide coming out of our trucks by 60% by 2045, which that's 60% over what they are today. It's not 60% from where they started back in 1994 when I first started seeing and was involved with some of the earlier rules that the EPA had put out to reduce the emissions of our trucks. It's kind of funny because the joke within the industry is there's probably parts of the country where our trucks emit cleaner air than they take in, because they've done a good job. The industry's done a good job. The manufacturers have done a good job of putting out technologies that have reduced it. But there's still room. And we talk about the electrification and hydrogen, but we're going to need bridge fuels, whether it's clean diesel, different technologies on the engines and the trucks. I hope they do a better job going forward than they have in the past of giving the industry time to vet these technologies, because Kevin and I have both been around trucks for a fair number of years, and some of these EPA mandates have not always been good for us. They've resulted in downtime. They've resulted in lower fuel economy. I think I think some of the things they're working on are good, but we also need to make sure we're not putting trucks out on the road that aren't reliable.
Yeah, a little more disgusting is the I think I heard something about algae bloom, that green stuff that grows in the swimming pools that aren't well maintained, using that as some form of fueling apparatus. But anyways, Kevin, our industry focuses a lot of attention on electric engines, but there's a great opportunity with electric refrigerated trailers too, right?
That's correct. We're not there. We started a test where we're going to be part of a test that we started last March, I believe, with the supply demands that have been up. Unfortunately, the program that we're working with has not been able to get a trailer. I think it'll work for us. We'll have to again test it and use it in specific lanes, but it'll be an electric unit with a battery pack. It'll have solar panels on the roof, and then there's Dana has an axle that actually helps regenerate the batteries that's going down the road. I guess we're hoping to see that yet this year, but the year is going by fast. I've not had any updates since about a month ago when I checked on it. But they're telling me that we possibly could see a couple of them trailers yet this year.
Kevin, that's not the only innovative technology we're using to improve business efficiency while supporting sustainability goals. Can you talk about how we're doing this with other reefer trailer technologies?
We surely are testing. Not testing. We're the first ones on board with the Wabash composite trailer. We tested that for them. Being that it's sealed up nice and tight, it's given us. We're using less reefer fuel than we did before. It gets down to temperature, it maintains temperature. Surely a unit running at an idle is way better for emissions than running on high speed.
Yeah, our program with Wabash is has been very successful. We, as Kevin mentioned, we were one of the earlier adapters, and for a while, and we may still be one of their larger customers with this technology. But it really made all the sense in the world. The keeping the trailer at a steady temperature without the introduction of external forces like heat and cold from the outside, the ambient temperatures. It made all the sense in the world in eliminating ways, for those temperatures to invade the trailer and force the refrigeration unit to work harder and use more fuels. It's a partnership we're proud of, and because of that, we made a video with Wabash that we're going to play now.
Today is 90 degrees here. If you had a load of ice cream on there, we got to make sure it stays at minus 20. So with the Wabash trailer, it's pretty easy for us to manage that.
At Leonards Express, we are on the cutting edge, the forefront of the technology and what's new in the industry and what's coming down the road.
We pride ourselves on running, top of the line equipment, new equipment, and equipment that's holding temperature reliably.
Moving refrigerated goods poses many challenges. Not everybody can do it.
We cover 48 states, different times of year, different commodities, and most of what we haul is fresh. Thermal efficiency is very important to us because trailers need to be able to hold temperature within 1/10 of a degree, and we've invested in in the technologies to be able to track that.
Our company is always looking to do something innovative that's better for us. It's going to make us better for our customers.
Wabash is not satisfied with the status quo, and neither are we.
They came to us with this product to see if we wanted to test it.
Being part of the pilot program helped us make the decision to purchase the trailers going forward.
Having the most efficient refrigerated trailer certainly benefits us as a company. We're looking at different ways we can lower our carbon footprint, operate as a good corporate citizen. Lowering fuel usage and reducing emissions is a big part of that.
So the thermal efficiencies of the trailer are very important to us.
The Wabash composite reefer takes a lot of the variants that we used to deal with in the old style trailers, out. It eliminates the wicking of the cold air from the outside in or the hot air from the outside in, and allows the reefer unit to run more efficiently and hold the temperature better.
It'll stay cool even with the sun blasting right on it. There's lots of positives with this product. Our uptime is much better on them. Thermal efficiency is better. Our fuel cost is less. It's pretty bulletproof. It's easy to fix, easy to maintain. The flat bottoms, we don't have the corrosion that we had. There's no place for snow, salt to catch. You could gain 500-600 pounds. This flat bottom on this trailer eliminates that problem.
Wabash is a great partner to us.
Very supportive. If we have a problem, I can get on the phone and I have an answer within minutes. Time is money. Downtime is way less just because of their support. We're pretty proud of our fleet and the way things look.
It takes reliability in our equipment.
We've got 100 plus of them now with more on order, so they've done very, very well for us.
Well, that was a great video. I'll tell you one thing, Kevin, when you were given that weather report at the very beginning of it being 90 degrees, it instantly in my mind felt like, well, he's saying it like it was really hot that day. But anyways, Kevin, Leonards Express established a sustainability committee not more than a couple years ago. Why did we take this step, and what type of work is the committee focused on?
Well, it's not only just our equipment, it's our buildings, it's what we do, our garbage, our lights, right down to the coffee cups. We got away from using styrofoam, we're using a reusable paper cup. So there's a lot to it. I could go on and on and on. We monitor how much paper we use. There's, you name it. I guess I'd have to really think about it, think of all the things that we've done in the last couple of years to help us.
We're seeing some of the new containers there.
The sustainability committee is, there's a lot of reasons to have it. One, obviously, as Kevin mentioned, our trucks attract a lot of attention from within our organization, rightfully so. They're a big part of what we do. They're the out on the road, front and center to the public of what we do. But there's a lot of things that go on in our buildings, whether it's our warehouses or offices or our shops, where we can make an impact. And that's where a lot of the things started with the sustainability committee. But one of the other reasons it's important is as an industry and as a company, we need to track people. It takes a lot of people in our industry, both from the on highway as well as the off highway personnel, and we need to track younger people. And younger people, this matters to them. And being involved with a company that is doing the right thing, which has always been our motto of wanting to do the right thing. This is just another part of that, and it's something that was easy to say yes to, when the subject first came up, because some of the things that we're doing, they're easy to fix. It's not hard. It's not hard to switch from styrofoam to paper cups. It's not hard to read something on a screen rather than print it. I mean, there's a lot of things that we can make a difference. Small difference, but when you add them all up, it's a big difference overall. So it was pretty easy to put this together, and you'll continue to look at opportunities for things that we can do to improve how we affect the environment. And as a company, it's absolutely the right thing to do, and we should be doing more of it.
Yeah, as you said earlier, Kevin, it's trying to be responsible corporate citizens, and thumbs up here on these initiatives. Kevin, you recently attended the Trucking Association of New York's Clean Trucks New York conference. What were your most important takeaways from that event?
Well, I guess at this point is surely our infrastructure is under a huge undertaking. We surely could go forward with what we need to do to get us better, but there's going to be a lot of work with the infrastructure to get up to speed. I'm sure there's going to be some legislation around that. This does not come at a cheap cost. Electric trucks are 3 times the cost of a standard truck. There's some grant money out there. Unfortunately, in the area that we're in currently, that's not available to us. They're designating that to the ports. That would help take care of some of the pain of going over to electric. That's for sure. It's other things. We're one of the CARB states. Currently there's eight states that run under the CARB laws. California being a leader, New York is right behind them. People think this is going to happen overnight. Well, it's going to take some time. I don't think I'll see it before I retire, but I'm hoping to live long enough to see it. Put it that way. But
me too.
There was people there from all over the country. It just wasn't New York. There were surely some concerns. There's definitely a place for electric vehicles. The garbage trucks, the school buses, businesses that can, local businesses that don't run, over 300 miles a day. So we're in line to help fix this, but it's going to be a long time.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned before, as we were conversating before the show, the research I was looking into from the EPA about the transportation industry being a leading contributor to the greenhouse gas emissions. And if I didn't think it was serious, and it is, certainly the agriculture department as well, with cow flatulence also being a contributor to that. It makes you smile, but it's all about doing a better job. And of course, Leonard's is positioning itself to do what it can, where it can, as often as it can. You know, Ken, last December, Leonard's Express was recognized by Heavy Duty Trucking Magazine as one of America's top green fleets. How important is this type of recognition by such a premier publication?
Well, certainly, anytime we're recognized, it's feels good. As a company, it makes us proud. But this is one that it says you're on the right track. When it comes to an industry that has its challenge, environmentally. I mean, we rely on diesel engines, overall, but we're able to do other things to minimize our impact. And us here at Leonard's Express, are doing the right thing, whether it's trying other alternative fuels, or looking at devices for our trucks to lower the emissions or improve our fuel economy. I mean, certainly lowering the emissions is a large part of the conversation when it comes to being an environmentally friendly fleet. But if you use less fuel, you're gonna emit less from the trucks. So we're finding ways to improve our fuel economy. Certainly goes a long ways to improving our carbon footprint. And being open-minded to trying different things. I think we try not to be way out there on the edge at Leonard's. We're putting ourselves at any type of service failure for our customers, or our drivers in any type of unsafe. But we want to know what's out there. We want to know what's coming. We want to know what impact it's going to have on us here, as well as the impact on the communities we operate in. So, receiving that award, kind of validates, some of the things we're doing, that we're on the right path, and and certainly, makes us proud. And I was really, impressed to be on that list, because there's some big companies on that list. PepsiCo's on there, Anheuser-Busch is on there, UPS, Schneider's, FedEx. Some of the larger fleets is on there. So to be a part of the group that was named, certainly, says a lot about the people here at Leonard's Express. So it makes me proud to be a part of that.
It does. Ken, earlier this year, and I saw this, you appeared on FreightWave's Net Zero Carbon show. You may have hit on some of those highlights already, and you talked about opportunities for fleets to reduce their emissions. Can you share some of the highlights that you, had from that conversation?
Yeah, sure. We were just talking, with the folks that run that, I guess you'd call it a video show that's put out on the FreightWaves platform. And it was an opportunity to share some of the things we're doing here at Leonard's. Some of the reasons that we won the award we were just talking about. Certainly anytime I can put Leonard's out there, and share what we're doing in a positive way. That's it's a great opportunity. Some of the things we talked about was we've got 10 trucks operating this device from SPIER. It's a local company. I've known the gentleman that started the company and is the inventor, developer of the product. I've known him long before he ever came up with this product, which probably why, being in the business we're in, he came to us to try it out. I think we're on third or fourth year of since we put on the first one of these. It's basically, in a simplistic form, it takes the exhaust and uses some of the chemistry and the chemicals in the exhaust, put back into the engine to improve combustion. Obviously the first goal was to improve fuel economy. There's a lot of things that are going on with that device that has positive impact on fuel economy. So at times we're seeing very strong gains there. At other times, the environment, whether it's temperature or, climbing or, things like that, the fuel, the impact on fuel economy is a little bit minimized. But one thing that's been very consistent is the reduction in the emissions that these trucks are putting out. Which if they're putting out fewer emissions, some of the mechanical aspects of the truck are seeing the benefits of that, like having to get the diesel particulate filter cleaned doesn't need cleaning quite as often. We don't do as good a job as I would like to as far as tracking our DEF usage, but the drivers that are driving these trucks all report that since the device has been put on, they're using much less DEF, which makes sense. If the engine doesn't need to regen as much, there's not as much need for the diesel exhaust fluid. And it's something that still being developed. Certainly a long ways to go there to make us a product you walk in and buy off your truck stop shelf, and install in your truck. But it's getting close. And I think it won't be long before the successes are validated for that product, and it becomes more known throughout the industry. So so being on that show gave us a chance to talk about that as well as some of the other initiatives we're talking about here. The potential use of the electric refrigeration units on the trailers. Certainly as a long haul, medium haul, cross country trucking company, that is one place we feel that we can make a difference. Because whether it's solar or the regenerative axles, regenerative braking on the axles, that the technology is there. So it being able to talk about that, certainly a welcomed opportunity.
I think the producer is going to play for us that video clip for the that you did for.
A little bit about kind of your story in this, right? Why does sustainability matter to you? Is this just a business climate changing, or are you truly maybe not a climate alarmist, but where are your interests in this lie?
I have several interests. First off, I have grandchildren. So providing a safe and healthy future for them and their generation is important to me. But also, it's an industry image. The old visual of a truck going down the road blowing black smoke. That's not what we want to be viewed as. We want to be viewed as a contributing member of the society that's doing the right thing, and cutting our emissions and putting safe equipment on the road that doesn't pollute. So it's part of that. Plus, in a selfish way, the younger people want to work for companies that are doing the right things. They're not interested in want for old school mentality that that's the way it's always been. It's not going to change. So we feel we want to create an environment where all generations are happy and comfortable coming to work, and the generation coming out of college now they want to work and feel that the places they're working have the right purpose that align with their values, and and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's great. They got a lot of great ideas, and they kind of maybe push us outside of our comfort zone, but in a good way.
Definitely, you got to adapt. That's the name of the game, and always has been the name of the game. You mentioned industry image. With the smoke blowing out the top of the stack, it makes me think I hope this industry doesn't turn into the Philip Morris tobacco industries of the past that were vilified. Right, we've got to work on staying current with new regulations and what the customers are really asking for us, and not get stuck in the way we've always done it, because it just is. So I'm glad that you and Leonards are helping have this conversation and help drive industry forward.
That was a great interview there, Ken.
Thank you.
Folks can learn more about Leonards Express sustainability initiatives from our own Max Herbst. He's in our sustainability committee. Kevin, you've been great today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me on. This was fun, and maybe we can do another one sometime.
That'd be great.
Well, that's a wrap for this edition of Leading the Way at Leonards. If you have a question or feedback, we'd love to hear from you at leadingtheway@leonardsexpress.com. That's leading the way, all one word, at leonardsexpress.com. And please don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to the podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Knepper. And until the next time, keep on trucking.
We're running 18 wheels down that open highway. We drive on through the night so you can have it your way. We're the angels of the highway, bringing hope across this land. Success through service, it's all part of the plan. We'll settle for nothing less. We're Leonard's Express.